straight bowl game in as many years. We're ready to show the nation that more than SC and UCLA play in the Pac-10. So we're hoping to make it 2 victories in a row here at the Freedom Bowl.
In the 75-year history of Pac-10 football, only Stanford's John Elway threw for more touchdowns than Oregon's Bill Musgrave. When he plays, the Ducks win. In total offense, only 5 players in conference history have had better numbers than Musgrave.
What this means to the Rams is a chance for us to show everyone that we're a worthy bowl team and that we can play with the big teams like the Pac-10 and the bigger conferences and show them that the WAC is a good conference.
Seems Colorado State selects its quarterback the same way lottery numbers are drawn. You know, the ping-pong ball method? Jimenez has drawn the nod for the past 5 games, and the Rams responded by winning 4 of them. Tonight, Colorado State's Earl Bruce and Oregon's Rich Brooks will lead their teams in the 7th Annual Freedom Bowl. Raycom Sports and Entertainment presents the 1990 Freedom Bowl. Tonight's game is brought to you by the Bud family of beers, who brings you Bud Bowl 3 coming January 27th. By Norwegian Cruise Lines. By Ford. And by Tylenol. You are looking live at Anaheim Stadium, where tonight a pair of teams that are traditionally unaccustomed to the rarefied air of postseason play are about to go at each other. It's Colorado State, their first bowl appearance since back in 1948, versus the Ducks of Oregon on an unseasonably cool evening right here in Southern California. Well, a very pleasant good evening to you, everybody. I'm Phil Stone, along with Craig James. I'll tell you one thing about the Rams of Colorado State. They're not used to these holiday parties, Craig, and they're so excited about all this, they don't even know who's going to quarterback yet.
Yesterday, we were on the practice field with Earl Bruce. He pulls a coin out of his pocket, flips it up in the air, and says, guys, I still don't know who's going to start at quarterback. Evidently, Kevin Verdugo is going to get the shot at it, and when you look at these numbers, you can tell that it's tough for these coaches to decide on a guy. Both of them are very qualified and do a good job.
I'll tell you one thing, no matter who starts at quarterback, somebody back there has to find the way to get the ball into the hands of their sophomore split end, Greg Primus. He's something.
Oh, Primus caught a ball in all 12 games for Colorado State this year. Everybody realizes he's a very legitimate player on this ball club. When you look at the running side of it, Todd Yurt, number 41, a player that had 16 touchdowns this year for these guys. He's legitimate. And then you consider that for Oregon, they lose their outside linebacker, the all-star, Peter Brantley. He's out of the game. That should open up some opportunities for Yurt.
You know, Brantley's absence will in no way affect the style of play the Ducks like to play on defense, because it really begins up front with those 3 down linemen, and they've got a good one in defensive end. Of course, I'm talking about Matt LaBounty.
LaBounty is a guy at 246 pounds, is a small guy by defensive lineman standards, particularly in the Pac-10, but he's smart. He studies a lot of film. He gets after it. Already the career leader in sacks at the University of Oregon, and he's only a junior.
Offensively, Oregon employs a sort of Mutt and Jeff style of passing game. Their long guy, or tall guy, if you will, is that outstanding split end. He's a senior, Joe Reitzig.
Reitzig is a senior that wants to go out on a bang. He's a guy that's going to get a chance to catch some deep balls tonight because of the underneath passing to the running back, Sean Burwell. Musgrave was telling us yesterday, I want to throw underneath. I feel like there's some weakness in the Colorado State linebackers and strong safety. So they'll go underneath and open up the big game deep for them.
You know, last year, Oregon played in its first bowl game in 26 years. They beat Tulsa in the Independence Bowl. Can they make it 2 bowl victories in a row? The odds makers say yes.
Larry Zonka, 3 straight Super Bowls. After that, he went to sea. Sports personalities, as well as our own team of sports instructors, help host Norwegian Cruise Line cruises. No other cruise line has such an all-star lineup. The pleasure ships of Norwegian Cruise Line. The best vacation you've ever had. Plus, contact with someone like number 39, Larry Zonka.
Who guarantees overnight air delivery before 10:30 to the most people coast to coast? Who did you think? guarantees overnight air delivery before 10:30 to more businesses than anyone else in the business. Who did you think?
A good crowd on hand as the Rams and the Ducks are coming on the field. It's Colorado State and Oregon. You know, Craig, oftentimes events early in a ball game will dictate whether or not you stay with your game plan. But initially, what does Colorado State have to do? Let's take a look at our four-game must.
Colorado State must run the ball well. They've averaged 219 yards a game this season running. They'll need to do that. They'll need to pressure the quarterback. Obviously, if Musgrave has a chance to sit in the pocket, he'll have a field day against these fellas. Continue to create turnovers. Colorado State led the WAC this year with plus 14 in takeaways, which was one of the best in the NCAA. You go to the Oregon. On the side of Oregon's ball, they need to stop the run, realizing that Colorado State is strong at 219 yards a game. Limit the big plays. Eric Castle, the free safety for Oregon, is a good player that can run down a lot of folks, and he'll need to do that again tonight to stop Colorado State. No turnovers. Obviously, Colorado State, with the ability to turn the ball all over like they have this year, will be tugging and pulling and trying to get it away from Oregon.
You've got two seasoned coaches in Earl Bruce and Rich Brooks, and you've got two ball clubs that desperately want to win. We'll be right back after these words from your local station. This is the Raycom Sports Network.
I'm here to pick up my car, Simpson.
Coffee or tea?
No, thanks, just the car.
Okay.
Just a little reminder that reliable, trouble-free Hondas are on sale right now. At end of the year, low prices. So whatever you're riding around in these days, maybe you should think of stopping in for a test drive.
For over 40 years, people who really know the sport of shooting have come to Eddie's Sports Shop in Mountain View because they know at Eddie's, they get the best of everything. And in rifle and handgun scopes, that means Loophole. Because as long as we can remember, Loophole's been the best in the industry. So if you want the best service, the best selection, the best price, expert advice, and 40% off on Loophole scopes, come to Eddie's Sports Shop in Mountain View.
Complete satisfaction in Japanese auto service is made in Japan.
Oh, I have recommended Made in Japan to several friends because I believe in not only their quality of work, but their client orientation is just fabulous.
Well, I go to them because they're reliable and they're honest, and I like the hours.
In my mind, Made in Japan is the only place to go to get your Honda taken care of.
Open 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Made in Japan. We keep Silicon Valley moving.
Take this off. Yeah. Tim Luke, number 38.
Does those pop out?
Number 10. It's beautiful from the air. It is spectacular from the press box. Anaheim Stadium here in Anaheim, California. And we are set to go. Colorado State has won the toss. They will receive. It is Tony Branch on the right and Tony Alford on the left. And for the Ducks of Oregon, here is Liam Hayes, the senior out of Tigard, Oregon, 5'9", 185 pounds. And one of the strong suits of the Ducks of Oregon throughout this 1990 season has been superb kick coverage. And we are underway in the 7th annual Freedom Bowl from Anaheim. That is Tony Alford at the 2. Hit initially at the 20-yard line, bounces off one tackler, and is finally cut down out near the 24. Johnny Taylor, cornerback out of Olympia, Washington, on the tackle. Here is the starting quarterback for Colorado State. It is Kevin Verdugo. His numbers this season, 58%, a couple of touchdowns. But boy, look at all the interceptions. The skilled people, the tailback is Brian Copeland. Todd Yurt, 16 touchdowns this year. And there is the offensive line. They have played together an awful lot. First down, the ball spotted now at the 25-yard line. First play from scrimmage. play action. Verdugo looking left, throws it out on the flats, and it is almost intercepted. Joe Farwell, the weak side linebacker out of Los Gatos, California, was there, had his hands on it, couldn't hold it. Here's the Oregon Duck defensive alignment. We told you about Mount Labate. But keep your eyes on number 69, Marcus Woods. He is a load to handle up front. The linebackers, Connor, Batista, Farwell, the lightest linebacker in the Pac-10, and Doug Douglas playing for the injured Peter Brantley. The secondary, Singleton Smith, Rory Derry, and Eric Castle. In motion, it is Tony Branch. The give through the left side, and that is Todd Yurt, the senior fullback out of Mission Viejo, California. He is hit immediately by Doug Douglas.
Todd Yurt's a strong guy, and with Earl Bruce coming from the Pac-10, a guy that really believes in running the football, and have a face mask going against Oregon. Early on in ball games, a lot of times, particularly a big bowl game, you can see here coming over the left side, just a power play, reads his left tackle, good block, kicking out. Todd Yurt running north and south. Got a little face mask coming in there. You got to keep the hands off that. But early in ball games, you find players that are over anxious and maybe
on the defense, 5 yards, repeat second down.
Maybe not quite as in control as they should be. And a penalty like that, you know, instead of having the team backed up, you do a nice job on 1st and 10. And Oregon said they want to get the Colorado State's team in 2nd and long and 3rd and long, and that gave them a shot there at 2nd and long. Now you come up, you got a 2nd and short and chance for the 1st down.
Splitting wide to the left is Greg Primus. He's the sophomore split in from George Washington High School in Denver, Colorado. And a give right up the gut. It's a 1st down. The clock will stop. Verdugo on the keeper. Verdugo, 6'3", 210-pound junior out of Pittsburgh, Kansas, out on the southeastern corner of Kansas. I'll tell you, if you're Earl Bruce and that offensive coaching staff of Colorado State, Craig James, that has had to have been a very difficult decision, trying to decide game in and game out who you're going to start at quarterback.
It's tough, but then again, it has to be comforting knowing that you have 2 quarterbacks back there that can handle and run your offense.
1st down, the ball at the 37-yard line. Verdugo sprints left, throws. It is complete to Yurt out of the backfield, and he is very close to still another Ram 1st down out across the 45 near the 46.
A lot of misdirections, multiple offense that Colorado State runs. You can see him faking the inside draw trap to the flanker coming around. Verdugo, nice job getting his shoulders square, throwing out into the flat. Not only is he a big bruising runner, but Todd Yurt has hands, and that's something that, you know, if you look for a fullback, you don't want just a bruising blocker. You want somebody that can do all things in your offense, particularly when you got a multiple set like Colorado State.
Mark Holmes goes wide to the right. Billy Gonzalez, the split in, goes to the top of your screen. The pitch goes to the far side. It is Tony Alford, and he has the 1st down across the midfield stripe to the Oregon 47-yard line. Rory Derry, the strong safety, on the tackle.
Tony Alford, with the yards he's had this year, a 4.6 average. This is the first game that he's really been healthy all year. He was injured earlier on. He's had nagging injuries throughout the season. He's finally got a chance to come into a ball game healthy and free and clear, and they're looking for a big game out of him. You know, Colorado State at 219 yards a clip, and with a half-injured Alford, now you know they got a chance to have a big game tonight.
Mark Holmes only drawing single coverage now from Darrell Singleton on the near side. The give is right up the middle. It is Yurt. And he creases. The Duck 45 dives down near the 44.
Doesn't look like he's doing a whole lot on that offensive line, but you come out with 3- and 4-yard clips, and that helps to continue to move your chains. Good vision by the fullbacks. You take what that defensive line gives you. You're so good at seeing things. If they're over pursuing, you wait and you take the cutback. If you know, a lot of times these backs get in the backfield and they try to force things. Colorado State's backs are good at taking what defenses give them.
It is 2nd down and 7. The ball at the 44. There's the delay. It goes to Alford once more. And he gets a yard, maybe 2.
Matt LeBounty, number 90, a lot of people say that he's not that big of a player, which he's not, but he's very smart. He knows formations. He knows what's coming at him. He sees the kick down the block there. He comes over and closes the gap. There really was a nice little crease there initially for Alford to run through, but LeBounty and the rest of that defense, Farwell, another one, a very smart player on that defense, they converged and stopped the run. You know, Oregon only allowed 106 yards rushing per game this year. They're very, very stiff against the run.
They were 3rd in the Pac-10 conference behind Washington and Southern Cal. Verdugo looking left again. Throws under the coverage. It is caught at the 30-yard line. Gets away from one tackler. Down to the 30 he goes. Doug Lindner, the tight end. It is his 18th reception of the year. A gain of 12. It's another Colorado State first down, and he is hit by James Batista.
Good job. They don't drop back in the pocket that often, but as Lindner comes over, good job of keeping his eyes on the ball, and he's a big guy. That's why you like to get it to the tight ends underneath in that controlled pass. Mark Smith, number 81, was open, wide open, running a little seam route right up the middle of the field, so there's a little guessing going on in Oregon's defense.
Yurt through the left side. He takes it up behind Adam Whitmer and Scott Dorr. And again, a gain of 3, maybe 4. This is down in the part of the field, Craig, where Earl Bruce will pretty much abandon the passing game.
Yeah, well, that's apparent when you look at Todd Yurt having 16 touchdowns on the ground. What a pretty impressive year he's had there. And this is, for Oregon on defense, this is the most balanced attack they've had to go against all year. Hey, Oregon can drop back in the pocket. They have Colorado State, they can throw the play-action pass. Very well-balanced team that makes it tough to defend.
Second down and 5 from the 25. That is Branch in motion. The give goes to Alford. He is hit at the line of scrimmage. Dives ahead, gets maybe 1. Alford playing in his final game as a Colorado State Ram. Jeff Cummins, the defensive end on the right side, moves in to bring him down. You know, you talked about that defensive line of Oregon, Craig. You look at LeBounty, Marcus Wood, 69, and Jeff Cummins, number 99. Throughout the entire season, only one of those 3 down linemen even missed a game. It was Jeff Cummins, and he only missed 1.
That's a tough group. You know, and that's the kind of players Rich Brooks has on defense. They're overachievers that get after it.
Third down. Let's call it 5. Gonzalez is in motion. Verdugo wants to put it up. It is cut. That is Primus. He is grabbed and spun out of bounds at the 10-yard line by Devon Hosey, and a flag is down. And I think they may get the Ducks with a face mask.
2 face mask penalties in 1 drive. Not too good. 14-yard completion there. Primus coming across from the wide side, the right side of the field. Really a nice job of going upfield. You can watch him out here. He's a smart receiver. He reads, comes off, reads the secondary coverage, comes across, crossing pattern in the middle of the field. Primus catches the ball and gets straight up and down the field. You've got to keep your hands off of that face mask. 2 of those
face mask on the defense. 5 yards headed to the end of the run. First down.
We're going to see a lot of Greg Primus tonight. He had 165 yards receiving versus Hawaii in their final game of the year. That's the most by a Colorado State player since back in 1982. He'll see the ball a lot tonight.
And Denny Schuler, the defensive coordinator for Oregon, he realizes he's a very legitimate player, and he's concerned about him knowing that he can go out there and make the big plays in the game.
Now you've got Mike Jimenez at quarterback for the Rams. Jimenez rolling right. Wants to throw, lofts it to his tight end, and over the head of Doug Lindner. Very uncharacteristic of the Rams since Earl Bruce has come out of the Big Ten.
And Lindner was open initially as Jimenez came around to the right side. First of all, let's back up and say he must have pulled a coin out of his pocket again on the sideline, flipped it up, and thought he had 2 heads on each side. Verdugo, how about this guy? Takes down. That's twice. Earlier in the season against Air Force, the same thing happened. Open the ball game up. They go down the field. He takes him out of the game. It's just, talking about keeping a defense guessing.
There's that robust backfield for the Rams. The give goes to the left side. Paul Macronato. He is down near the goal line and cut down at the 1. Trying to hold on to the football. Rory Derry stuck his hands in there, the strong safety. I talked to Rory Derry 2 days ago at a big luncheon they had here for the Rotarians. I'll tell you, that guy plays with more emotion than any defensive back I've ever seen. He's jumping up in the air, waving his arms, takes his helmet off, throws it on the ground.
They say he's got an out-of-control laugh. He's always cackling in the secondary.
Jimenez brings him out on 3rd and goal from the 1. That is Jordan. He is bent back. He is stopped short as the Ducks rise to the occasion, and Rory Derry stuck him high.
Let's watch the line play, see if we have very much penetration. You want to score with your man if you're an offensive lineman, push him into the end zone. Farwell and the rest of that bunch comes up and does a heck of a job of stuffing those offensive linemen. Joe Farwell at 210 pounds, number 51, a guy that just comes up, and that's why he plays like a 230-pounder.
On 4th and goal, the Rams from an inch away are going to go. That's Jimenez. Touchdown, Colorado State.
You had to have a feeling that they'd go for it here. He fakes it up the middle to Todd Uritt. A lot of energy needed to beat. James Bautista tries to stop him there. Daryl Smith and Jimenez comes in and scores. How about that guy? If you're a quarterback for Colorado State, you better stay warm. You know, you're used to seeing tailbacks having to run up and down the sideline being prepared to go in the game. This guy comes in and continues the beat, puts the Colorado State Rams in the end zone for a touchdown.
The kick is good, but hold everything. We've got a flag. A flag is down. Now Jimenez, a legitimate threat to run the football. A year ago, he ran for 113 yards on 68 carries and scored 5 touchdowns.
Defense, offside. Extra point is good. The penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
So, early here in the first quarter, the Rams of Colorado State have struck first.
There is big-time controversy brewing in Bud Bowl 3. Bud Light's top draft choice, Bud Dry, announced he may give up football and play baseball instead. While it would be the BFL's loss, it would certainly be baseball's gain. Major League Manager Tommy Lasorda had this to say.
You don't see athletes like this every day.
Will it be footballs or fastballs for Bud Dry? For Bud Bowl Update, I'm Chris Burke.
This is not what you want in a shave. Now you've got the edge. This is the shave with 6 rich lubricants. This is the shave that reduces irritation. This is the shave. For less irritation, you've got the edge.
Introducing the most advanced Tegrin ever. New advanced formula Tegrin Dandruff Shampoo. Clinically shown to control the leading causes of itching and flaking. New, richer, thicker, advanced formula Tegrin.
Aren't you just itching to try it?
When you're all stuffed up and use an ordinary nasal spray, it drips into your tissue where it can't help you breathe. But not Sinex Ultrafine Mist. Its medicine stays where you need it, so you can breathe the way you want to. We don't drip down, we clear up.
14 plays, they went 75 yards, and it took the Rams 6:24 to find pay dirt. Jimenez, the quarterback, on in relief of Verdugo, scores from a yard away.
Pretty impressive. They convert 2 third downs, and then here on 4th down, put it in the end zone, and I think Earl Bruce set the tone right there. He said, fellas, Oregon, we're coming after you. We're not going for any ties around here or low-scoring games. We want to put points on the board, and we started in the opening drive.
Back deep for Oregon, it is Michael McClellan. We did not think we would see him returning kicks tonight because of a bad knee. Howard Blackwell is also back deep. And to kick it away, here is Liam Hayes. Pardon me, it is Peter Ransow, number 1 out of Aurora, Colorado. Ransow, the 5'10", 200-pound junior. And they let it go. It is McClellan at the 6-yard line. Across the 20 and knocked off his feet there. First man to get to him, Keith Schaefer. Well, here come the Ducks for the first time tonight. There is Bill Musgrave. He shattered virtually every offensive record in his 4 years in Eugene, Oregon. And his skilled people he'll be looking to tonight, Sean Burwell, the tailback. His flanker, Michael McClellan. The split end, Joe Reitzig, and his tight end, Vince Berry, probably will not see the ball a lot tonight. The offensive line, they have played together and played well. Ka'anapu, Sunia, Boatwright, Bowie, and David Collinsworth. First down from the 20-yard line. Play action. Musgrave wants to run. He'll do it. Cuts it in across the 30-yard line, and out of bounds he goes, and he has a first down. For Colorado State, they, like the Ducks, play the 3-4. Bob Chirico, Eric Schaller, and Paul Hanks, they are all seniors. The linebackers, Steve Rule, also a senior. Eric Tipaconic is the leading tackler. And the defensive secondary, led, of course, by Andy Byrne and Sylvester Mabry, the cornerback, number 8. Now they're calling it second down and a little less than 1 now for Oregon. They come out of the I. Burwell across the 30-yard line, out near the 31. Chirico, Schaller, Hanks, they're all there. I'll tell you, if you're a young kid, Craig, and you want to play football immediately in the state of Colorado, you might want to look at Colorado State if you're a defensive lineman, because they're going to have 3 job openings after tonight.
And their defensive line coach, he was pumping us pretty good yesterday. He's saying, hey, we need to get some talented freshmen in here on that defensive line.
Well, they lose Chirico, Eric Schaller, Paul Hanks, and they also lose Steve Rule, who we will see in a down lineman position throughout the evening.
Kind of interesting here, Bill Musgrave and Mike Bellotti, the offensive coordinator, were telling us this morning that we want to spread Colorado State out early. We want to throw the ball. We want to go to a lot of screens. We want to get their defense spread out, and then later in the game, we want to pound them with the football, giving the ball to Sean Burwell, and we'll see how if they hang to that game plan.
A first down for the Ducks. The ball nosing the 31-yard line. 7:18 to play. First period. Colorado State scored on their first possession. Musgrave looking near side, throws. It is caught at the 41-yard line. Michael McClellan, he had his knee scoped just about a month and a half ago, and he is back already. Otis Hamilton, the inside linebacker, knocked him off.
Got to respect the run. The play-action pass holds to Peconic and Otis Hamilton in the middle. That allows them to get outside on the hook. McClellan hooks up into that zone, holds onto the football. Good job of execution, and that's one of the reasons that Musgrave's so efficient and effective. He's got knowledgeable receivers. He gets in the pocket, sees the defense, and he gets it to them.
McClellan picks up 15 big yards. It's a first down for the Ducks now at their own 46-yard line. In motion, the tight end, Ferry, now sets at the top. 4 down linemen for the Rams. That is McClellan in motion as Musgrave rolls right. Everybody flooding right. Looking downfield, right sig, knocked out of his hand. And boy, what a pop on the part of Andy Byrne, the free safety. And he's playing tonight, Craig, with a metal plate in his forearm.
Oh, he's a tough player, and they needed him in this ball game. And you're talking to the Oregon coaches, they were kind of hoping yesterday. They said, hey, did you guys see Andy Byrne at free safety practicing yesterday? And we said, well, unfortunately, Coach, he was out there. They know they've got to somehow go around him if they can. And just a good job of going to the ball. Andy Byrne came to Colorado State as a wide receiver. Now he's at free safety.
6:39 to play. It is second down and 10. Somebody jumped. Paul Hanks thinks he saw something. It might have been Vince Ferry, the tight end. Did Ferry move? Hanks thinks so. Offside, Hanks. It'll go against the Rams. Well, whatever Hanks saw, nobody else at Anaheim Stadium saw.
Well, hey, I tell you, if he wants to be an attorney, be a great litigator. He convinced me up here that that he saw something. I don't know what they teach at Colorado State. Well, they do. They teach a lot.
Offside, defense, second down.
A lot of problem solving they try to come up with at that university. That's one of them there.
Now the Ducks are out in force. Look at this guy. That's actually a Ram. It's a Ram. He's got the horns on. I'll tell you, this is a play-by-play man's nightmare. You've got 2 teams in identical colors tonight. They give straight up the middle, across the midfield stripe, down near the 48-yard line. When you look at these 2 teams from afar, Craig, it looks like a spring game. The first team in their home uniforms and the second team in the away uniforms.
They're going to be so confused out there. Don't be surprised if you see players going and giving high fives to the other team thinking it's their teammate. I know I'd line up in the wrong huddle 2 or 3 times.
Wide to the right goes Michael McClellan. It is third down and 4 for Oregon on their initial possession. Musgrave. Here they come. On throws. It is caught at the 40-yard line. A first down by McClellan, and a flag is down. And it could be a face mask. Hold everything. Colorado State is clapping their hands. They may be looking at an offensive pass interference and pushing off on the part of McClellan.
Colorado State comes with a blitz up the middle. Otis Hamilton over here coming around, and that's what they said they'd do. You got a chance. He pushes off. Michael McClellan pushes off the defensive back. That's offensive pass interference.
Defensive pass interference. Decline. First down.
Well, Earl Bruce can't believe it. Wow.
The one thing that you want to look at if you're looking for pass interference, if that wide receiver goes down the field, let's look and see as he gets off the player. Watch how number 4, Michael McClellan, pushes and extends his arms. That's a push-off on his part. I really don't see. Maybe it occurred before we got to that picture there. Maybe there was some contact while the ball was in the air prior to that.
Ronnie Harris puts wide to the right. A pair of split ends are wide to the left. on first down. It is to the first man through, Nalu Kelamini, the fullback, and he is hit instantly by Kevin Lynch. Lynch, number 51. All academic team in the Western Athletic Conference.
Oregon's got a lot of hope for the future in that backfield, and they're excited about it. They're all freshmen. Kelamini is a sophomore. They'll all come back, play again. They've got a great quarterback. They've signed the JC #1 guy in the country coming in next year to hopefully replace Musgrave.
Well, not a lot. Maybe to the 37. It'll be third down and long. It is Eric Tipaconic who knocked him down.
Robert Chirico, the big guy there. Right now, Oregon's offensive line is not getting any push, not getting any penetration on that defensive lineman, and there's nowhere to go for Burwell. He's trying to find a running lane to get into, and you've got to come off, and this is early in the game. You've got to gain respect. A lot of fist punching and name talking going on right now in those trenches.
Wide to the left is Ronnie Harris. And his right six split wide to the right. He's to the top of your screen. There's a little slant. It is caught. Ronnie Harris inside the 23. Picked up and thrown down at the 21-yard line by Sylvester Mabry. A gain of 17. Boy, what a catch by Harris. And was he upended?
That's a very smart play by Bill Musgrave. They fake the blitz up the middle, but they're too late getting out of it. He comes in there. They pull the screen off to the left, the quick screen. Ronnie Harris is the fastest receiver on this ball club, and I tell you, he gets up in the field. Nice job of just recognition by the lineman. Lineman getting out, finding the man that they're going to get, and giving them a chance. Ronnie Harris is going to have some plays in his career that, because of that foot speed, will help this team.
Musgrave waiting for the screen to develop. It is cut. Kelamini out of the backfield inside the 20-yard line. Bounces off one would-be tackler and stumbles down at the 15-yard line. Eric Schaller, the nose guard. How in the world did Schaller ever get back to make that tackle?
Oh, and how in the world did Musgrave ever get the pass off? They're running the screen there, and they told us we were going to spread them out. They're doing a nice job of that right now. Schaller's down. Eric Schaller has an injury, and that certainly is something they cannot afford to have happen in this ball game. But Musgrave showing me early here why he's one of the top passers of all time in the Pac-10. Big guy like that, the old saying, if you can walk, you can play. Looks like he's leaning with his shoulder a little bit there, a little pain, but he's got his wheels underneath him. He'll be back in the ball game. Great effort, great hustle.
The clock is started. 3 minutes, 40 seconds to play in the opening period. Colorado State's Rams went 75 yards on 14 plays in their first possession. The Ducks trying to answer on their first time with the football. That is McClellan in motion. The give. It is Kelamini. And the Rams sniffed it out nicely. Eric Tipaconic from the inside linebacking spot on the right side made the tackle.
Getting in that red zone, Colorado State figuring they're going to come with a blitz. Now, if you're on the offensive side of the ball, you need to expect that. That's one thing a quarterback does. He gets in the huddle, he says, all right, fellas, remember we're inside the 20 red zone. They're going to come with a blitz, and there's certain tendencies that they have. They probably should expect to see that from the Colorado State Rams.
Here's Earl Bruce in his second season at Fort Collins. Boy, what a whale of a job he has done. Third down and 5. Musgrave looking deep. It is cut. The Ducks are on the scoreboard. What a time to get your first touchdown of the 1990 season.
Drop back in the pocket. Linebacker comes up. Tipaconic. That opens Anthony Jones over coming across on the slant pattern. Nobody's there. Goes to the flag in the corner. Gets in for the touchdown. And what an impressive drive coming back and answering the bell after Colorado State had gone down and scored on their possession.
I'll tell you, Anthony Jones made the most of his situation. He took over for an ailing Mike McClellan during the Oregon contest at Washington and caught at least one pass in each game since. The point after is good, and the Ducks have tied it with 2:37 to play in quarter number 1.
This is the kind of weather a Ford truck was made for. Outside and in. Inside, a Ford truck is surprisingly comfortable and spacious. The perfect Ford in all kinds of weather. Ford trucks, the best ever rest. Because to be the best-selling truck in America, you have to be more than tough. Ford trucks, the best ever rest. More people are driving the best-built, best-selling American trucks than ever before.
You sound miserable, honey.
Oh, I'm gonna make some impression during my interview tomorrow.
This'll help.
Oh, NyQuil. This isn't my NyQuil. This is a blue box that says nighttime. Only NyQuil is NyQuil. How do I know I won't be up all night coughing and sneezing? How do I know I'll be okay for my interview, honey?
She needs NyQuil, the real nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, stuffy head fever so you can rest medicine. It's relief she can trust.
What high-octane premium gasoline delivers winning performance? What do you reach for when your cash flow suddenly runs dry? Who's got the snacks and the smiles to keep you going?
First career touchdown for Anthony Jones, and boy, what a spot to get it. It ties this Freedom Bowl up with 2:37 to play in the first period.
A nice shot from the Goodyear blimp above. Watch the middle of your screen as Anthony Jones comes across. There's nobody to cover him. They get confused to the right side. He comes across. Tipaconic hadn't dropped because he was coming up to cover the fullback. Then it's a foot race to the end zone.
12 plays, 79 yards. It took the Ducks 5:59 to find pay dirt Musgrave to Anthony Jones from 16 yards away, and it ties the ball game at 7.
Musgrave 5 of 6 for 62 yards on that drive and showed some very nice poise in allowing screens to develop, allowing the rush to get there, getting his lineman out there, getting his back out there, setting up the plays. Good vision, good recognition by the wide receivers. Very impressive drive.
Liam Hayes, kick it away. Back deep, Tony Alford and Tony Branch. Alford, a couple of yards deep. Branch tells him to go down on a knee. So the Rams will begin from their own 20-yard line with 2:37 left in quarter number 1. We're tied at 7.
5, 6, 7, and come on, you can do it. 6, 7. Again, 6, 7, 8.
After making it on Broadway, some of the finest entertainers around go off-Broadway. They appear on the pleasure ships of Norwegian Cruise Line. No other cruise line offers such entertainment. Norwegian Cruise Line, the best vacation you've ever had. Plus,
our dentist gave us a reason to switch toothpaste.
Baking soda. He recommended it for healthier teeth and gums.
In fact, 2 out of 3 dentists and hygienists recommend baking soda for healthier teeth and gums.
And only one major toothpaste has it. Arm & Hammer Dental Care, the baking soda toothpaste from the baking soda experts.
And here's refreshing news for gel lovers. Now there's a baking soda gel with the cool taste of freshly picked mint. Wait till you taste new Arm & Hammer Dental Care Gel.
Across the country, critics are cheering Dances with Wolves. 2 very enthusiastic thumbs up. It's magnificent and visionary, say Siskel and Ebert. One of the great American movies of all time. Absolute magic. Movie making at its very best. And Joel Siegel raves, one of the best films of the year. Don't miss it. Kevin Costner, Dances with Wolves. Rated PG-13. Now playing.
There's the next nose tackle for the Rams. It's Cam the Ram.
Believe it or not, I've seen some players that look like that. I won't mention any names. I don't want them coming for me.
With or without their helmets?
They didn't need a helmet.
Well, the Rams have the football. Cam will wait for his shot a little later. Here's the Statue of Liberty. How often do you see that? Brian Copeland, who normally plays behind Tony Alford at tailback, carries the football. Boy, what a year for Copeland, number 34. He's a 5'9" junior out of Security, Colorado. 945 yards rushing and 5 touchdowns here in 1990.
And when you talk about styles of running, he's a slashing runner, and somebody that Denny Schuler at Oregon really was concerned with. He says, hey, this guy here can get a little bit off balance, and then he takes off that foot, and he's gone as a slashing runner.
To the top of your screen is Greg Primus on 2nd down and 6. That is Blanche in motion. Jimenez throws. It is caught and then drops. In and out of the arms of, I believe it was Mark Holmes. Boy, Joe Farwell was right behind him, but it's a ball that he should have caught.
Oh, Farwell over here, he sees it immediately, looks to his left, knows that's his man that's going to be coming across, gets in Holmes' back pocket. He just couldn't catch the football. He's got to make that catch, and that gives him, you can see that obviously Kevin Verdugo, he's like, hey, I'm not sure I'm going to be in here for another 3 or 4 plays. Make sure you keep my drives going.
I'll tell you about Joe Farwell against Arizona. He lined up against 325-pound Nick Finian Ganofo and came away with 16 tackles. Jimenez pressured, and he's going down. He is down. Jeff Cummins, the defensive end, 6'6", 255-pound, led the Ducks charge.
Kind of pressure that you're looking for there. Verdugo comes back and sets up in the pocket. Cummins, that's a poor job at trying to block him. He went through 2 people. Of course, he had backside pressure coming from the other guys. Farwell was coming in. A lot of folks putting the pressure on Verdugo and turning the first change of possession that we're going to have here in this ball game.
Team Blue will let it fly. It's good protection. It is caught by Brian Brown. He is grabbed immediately and taken down at the 43-yard line. A couple of flags are down. It is Rick Ward, a linebacker from Laverne, California, on the tackle. A 31-yard punt, only a 3-yard return.
And have a clipping call against Oregon. They've had several penalties that have really hurt them. A couple of face masks. Now you've got the clipping, just not smart football. And instead of having great field possession there at the 45-yard line, they're going to back them up there and still going to have a good place to start from.
From the 40-yard line, the Ducks.
Clipping, going to run back, 15 yards, first down, timeout.
A timeout on the field with 1:05 to play. The Ducks will have the football for the 2nd time tonight.
Who guarantees overnight air delivery before 10:30 to more businesses than anyone else in the business? Who did you think?
If you're like a lot of people, you're probably trying to cut back on caffeine. You certainly don't want to find it in unexpected places. So you might be surprised to learn that your pain reliever may contain caffeine. Check the label. There is no caffeine in Tylenol. With Tylenol, all you get is fast, effective relief without caffeine. And you should know that hospitals use Tylenol nearly 5 times more than all other pain relievers combined. Tylenol, the pain reliever hospitals use most.
Who guarantees overnight air delivery before 10:30 to the most places across the country? Who did you think?
As we enjoy this great American tradition, college football, let's salute all the student athletes, all those men and women who are working hard toward their academic degrees. They know that the NCAA Foundation is committed to helping them graduate, to get ahead in the game of life. They know that the only way to compete off the field is to stay in school. So enjoy the competition, but get your degree.
1:05 to play. First period. We are tied at the Freedom Bowl. Travel arranged through U.S. Air with nearly 3,000 daily departures to over 170 cities across the country. U.S. Air, America's most frequent flyer. Now you see the score with 1:05 to play in the first period. The Rams scored first. Oregon came right back on their first possession and punched it in. And that is where we stand. The Ducks now with their second possession. It begins at their own 40-yard line. That That is Michael McClellan in motion coming to the bottom. The pitch comes to the near side. Nalu Calamini. He gains about 5, maybe 6 before Otis Hamilton brings him down. Boy, Hamilton this year, number 2 in tackles for Colorado State, and he didn't even start until their 3rd game of the year at Arizona State.
Pretty impressive guys. Calamini, he's a guy that, for them, running the football, it gives them a chance to really take some pressure away from Sean Burwell, and that's something they need to have in this offense.
Andy Sonilla, their left guard, is being helped off the playing field, and that would be a huge loss because that is where Sean Burwell and Nalu Calamini like to run it up behind. Sonilla is a senior guard on the left side out of Oxnard, California, 5'11", 284 pounds.
Sonilla over here getting outside. Watch him get hit from the side. That right knee, he already has a brace on it. Right knee buckles locked underneath those players. That's something you hate to see. Ooh, anybody get done to.
The Rams in their 4-2 alignment now, 4-down lineman as McClellan goes in motion. It is Calamini once more, and again he runs into Otis Hamilton, and the flag is down.
Anytime it's thrown in there, you're probably going to have holding. Yep, going to have holding against Oregon. Once again, another penalty against this team that's really handcuffing them right now.
Now Rich Brooks, he certainly doesn't care much for the call. Oregon, they've only had 39 penalties all year.
Holding, offense, repeat 2nd down.
And I'll tell you, that right there was one thing Earl Bruce mentioned at the luncheon here on Thursday, as he said, hey, the Ducks of Oregon just don't make mistakes. We have to take advantage of every single element they give us.
He's been sick. He's had the flu, and I know that makes him even feel worse watching his team out there fumbling around and making these mistakes. Mentally, that's something you can't accept as a coach or a player.
2nd and 14 from the 36. Musgrave. Prince White being chased, putting it up top, looking deep for Reitzig, and it is overthrown. Selwyn Jones, the left quarter, running step for step with Reitzig, and that is the final play of the 1st period. Colorado State 7, the Ducks of Oregon 7. We'll be right back after this word from your local station. This is the Raycom Sports Network.
Henry's, safe. Heard they're selling Henry's down at Oregon City.
Yep.
I'll bet 100 years from now they'll be selling Henry Weinhard's beer as far away as Walla Walla.
100 years from now, only little girls will ride horses. Men will walk on the moon. And Henry Weinhardt's beer will be selling in Tokyo, Japan.
Grand Caravan rebates are back at your Dodge dealer. Right now,
here's the latest Caravan Advantage. Now you can get $1,000 cash back on all 90 Caravans.
On almost all of them, like a big $1,300 back on Shadow, $1,000 on Spirit, $1,500 back on Dakota, and $2,000 on full-size pickups. And special factory-to-dealer incentives might save you even more. So hurry, see your Northern California Dodge dealer today.
We are set for the 2nd quarter. Along with Craig James, I'm Phil Stone. We are coming to you from Anaheim Stadium, and this is the 7th annual Freedom Bowl. Now, our 1st quarter statistics, you take a look, yards rushing, neither team very effective. Through the airways, it was Oregon with 62 yards. Neither team suffered a turnover, and time of possession, really not much to talk about, and it really is indicative, I think, Craig, of the score at this point.
Well, it tells the whole story right there. Very, very close 1st quarter, and a good 1st quarter.
Oregon with the football as we begin the 2nd period of play. It is 3rd down and 14. Musgrave looking straight over the top. He is hit as he left 26, and he is tackled there. Well, Oregon took the lead, going 9 plays, 54 yards. It took them 4:09 to get a 23-yard field goal off the toe of Greg McCallum. And you'll recall it was McCallum who won the Independence Bowl last year for Oregon with a 20-yard field goal late in the 4th period.
27-24 win over Tulsa.
Kevin Verdugo is in at quarterback for Colorado State. And right behind it is Yurt. Ryan Copeland is the other setback. Todd Yurt right up the gut across the 26 near the 27. Jeff Cummins, the defensive end from Torrance, California, on the tackle.
Talking about California, both of these schools have a strong base here, alumni base. There were 18,000 fans from Oregon came down. Steve Zabel, defensive coordinator there, probably trying to tell them what's going on, make some adjustments. A team being able to make adjustments on the sidelines is a must. You've got to be able to make adjustments in the game. Don't wait till the game's over and go to film and then study and correct. It's too late then.
Verdugo. He is pressured. Runs around the coverage and dives out of bounds. I'll tell you one thing. Darrell Singleton had him in the backfield and took the fake, leaped in the air, and simply missed him. James Batista finally chased him out.
He probably should have gone ahead and thrown the football out in the flat. Initially, he was open. It seemed like maybe he was having so much pressure from him. Mike Jimenez is coming into the game now, and Verdugo comes out. Now, that's something. You're swapping them up in the middle of a, well, I guess Jimenez is thinking, hey, thanks, coach. Give me the 3rd and 10, then throw me in there.
Now, of course, I guess it's debatable who is the better passer. Their numbers are very, very close. The pitch comes to the near side. Out across the 31-yard line flies Brian Copeland, and Andy Connor takes him down.
And there was a crease there that looked like it was going to be a big play. Denny Schuler was telling us that Andy Connor has played in the shadows of Peter Brantley and that he's probably just as good of a football player. And obviously, Brantley being an all-Pac-10 player, that's saying quite a bit. And he showed us why there by closing the gap on that ball carrier.
Tim Luke to kick it away. He averaged just over 40 yards a punt. His longest 56 yards. Ryan Brown will await it. At the 32-yard line, loses the football. It is picked up by the Rams of Colorado State.
Brian Brown tries to catch the ball right here. Now, there's the critical part of this right here is that Colorado State, by having plus 14 in turnovers, watch how quickly he comes down and gets the ball. He was ready for it. Adolph Renaud, I mean, you've got to have that mentality. When the ball goes on the ground, get on it. It's like a trained dog. When the bone goes out there, you just jump on it. Don't let it roll around. He didn't have any time to think about it. A great play and the first turnover of the ball game.
Ryan Brown, traditionally a very sure-handed punt returner. That is Tony Alford down near the 32-yard line. Well, what that amounted to, Craig, was about a 36-yard pass reception.
And it woke up the Colorado State bench. And they're saying, fellas, that's why we are in this Freedom Bowl, because we've made turnovers all year.
It is 2nd down and 8 now from the Ram 31-yard line. Pardon me, from the Ducks 31. That is Gonzalez in motion. Jimenez, the quarterback, on the option. The pitch goes to Copeland, and he's got some running room. To the 11-yard line, and down he goes. Andy Connor grabbed him and spun him down, but not before he rambled for 21.
Ryan Copeland, as they come down here, Jimenez, known more for his running ability. He does things better in this offense than does Verdugo. And watch how he turns the corner here. Copeland, a lot of runners don't have the leg strength to make that turn as they're sprinting. I mean, it takes a lot of power in those thighs when a back is sprinting around that corner to be able to make that cut back up the field rather than running out of bounds. Copeland, boy, what a great player this guy is. Now, you can see why he had 900-something yards. Good speed, good vision.
Well, there's the old T formation right there. Little cross butt goes to Tony Alford as he spins through the right side in behind John Larita and Jason Bazzo. Joe Farwell, the lightest linebacker in the Pac-10 on the tackle, 6'2", 210 pounds.
Boy, but that means nothing to him. That guy plays like he's a 230, 40-pounder. He's a great, instinctive football player. They're going to come in there. They're going to challenge him. Look for Todd Yurt, number 16, to get the football. Number 41.
This is where the Ducks have been tough all year long. There's Yurt through the right side. He is down near the one and stopped short.
This is Earl Bruce's Big Ten Smash Mouth football area right here.
Well, you look at Todd Yurt. He has 16 touchdowns this year. In his career, he's a senior. Look at that, 38.
Lawrence McCutcheon, as we all know, went on to have a great career with the Rams.
Now, keep your eyes on the guy in the middle of that running back formation. Well, this time it's going to Alford, and he is in. Colorado State has scored. Oregon, a team that allowed only a little over 100 yards rushing per game all year long, is allowing the Rams of Colorado State to move the ball, Craig, predominantly on the ground.
Another important factor, you saw that there was no Oregon players, nobody on the defensive line penetrated into the backfield. That way you got the ball carriers. They can get the ball, find the hole, the crease, get in there, and just a super job of coming down the field and scoring. Of course, aided by the fumbled punt return.
A point after off the toe of Mike Brown. It is good. And with 8:01 to play in the first half, the clock is stopped. The Rams of Colorado State have taken a 14-10 lead.
When you're all stuffed up and use an ordinary nasal spray, it drips into your tissue where it can't help you breathe. But not Sinex Ultrafine Mist. Its medicine stays where you need it, so you can breathe the way you want to. We don't drip down, we clear up.
I've been working on cars almost 30 years, and this new Interstate X2 booster is awesome. Best idea I've seen since the spare tire. See, it's actually 2 batteries in one. So when you run down the main battery, the extra booster battery starts your car in a snap. Yeah, I'd recommend the Interstate X2 booster to anyone who's ever left their headlights on, or the car door open, or got caught in freezing weather, or
the Interstate X2 booster. Call 1-800-CRANK-IT for the dealer near you.
Felix Fopo. Upon graduation from Escoffier, some of these culinary masters go to London or Rome. Andre Legault. Others go to sea and work their magic on Norwegian Cruise Line. No cruise line caters to food the way we do. The pleasure ships of Norwegian Cruise Line. The best vacation you've ever had, to say nothing of the chocolate cake, a la Andre Legault.
The Denerex side feels like it's doing more because I feel something in my scalp. The Head and Shoulders side, I feel nothing at all.
Both have a dandruff ingredient, but Denerex adds an extra anti-itch medicine you can feel working.
There definitely was a difference with Denerex.
There's the score with 8:01 to play in the first half. The Rams out in front of the Ducks of Oregon, 14-10.
An idea of what a ball carrier is looking for. Look at Tony Alford come around from the right side. He's coming in there. He sees the over pursuit, gets back inside, lowers, runs behind his shoulders. Darrell Smith cannot make the stop. He gets in the end zone. And backs, when they get near that, they smell that prey dirt. They better get in the end zone.
During tonight's halftime show, Craig and I will be announcing the Norwegian Cruise Line Trivia Contest, a chance to test your sports trivia skills and an opportunity to win an exciting cruise for 2 on Norwegian Cruise Line, the athlete's fleet. So be sure to stay with us. Testing your expertise at trivia. Ransow hits it away. It is McClellan. And the kicker slowed him down enough for number 42, Paul Macronato, to bring him down. A 49-yard kickoff return.
Michael McClellan is 4 for 61 in receiving. Now he does it on the kick returns. He's healthy. He's back in there. Gets that big crease up the middle and takes off. And If not for the kicker, he's going to go all the way. Paul Macronato comes in from behind. He holds on to it, almost a little face masking there. But that's the way that that's the way this game is going. You've got one guy punching and scoring. The next team comes back and shows their character and scores.
First down, Oregon. Weitzig is split wide to the left, and there is McClellan in motion. Musgrave rolling left, throws for his big tight end intended for Vince Berry, and he can't hold it. Bill Stone along with Craig James. That's the time left in the second period. Colorado State with a couple of touchdowns out in front of Oregon 14-10 as you look down from the Goodyear Blimp Columbia on a beautiful, cool evening here in Southern California.
One thing Oregon's missing tonight is number 83, Jeff Thompson, their all-conference tight end. He's out with an injury, and he is a much quicker-footed tight end and probably would have been a little bit faster and made that catch on that play. They'll miss him tonight as well.
Play action, Musgrave looking over the middle, throws. It is almost brought down. Pass intended for Joe Reitzig. I'll tell you, Reitzig is a contortionist. If you can get the ball close to Joe Reitzig, ordinarily, he's going to bring the ball down.
Some of those players, the great receivers, just have a knack for doing it. He's not the big, tall guy, but he just knows how to go to the football.
There he is, Joe Reitzig playing in his final game tonight as an Oregon Duck. And many of the fans on hand here tonight in Anaheim on a beautiful winter evening. And they are having a ball here in Southern California. That is Sean Burwell in motion as Musgrave on 3rd and 10. Ball is knocked down by Paul Hanks, that big right tackle.
Paul Hanks having a heck of a game. He's been close a number of times to getting to Musgrave with the sack. They're trying to set the screen up again here, and they're letting these guys go a little bit too quick. They need to stay with those defensive linemen just a little bit longer. I mean, heck, they don't have time to get out there and turn around and catch a football. Burwell was out there, and it's just not enough time. You've got to hold them up just for about a 2 count. 1,000, 2, let them go, and then get out for the screen.
Fourth down and 10. Tommy Thompson lets it go. This one will go over the head of the return man into the end zone. It goes. Billy Gonzalez put his hand in the air and deked everybody from Oregon. So the Rams will have the football at their own 20-yard line when we come back.
The Mona Lisa has no eyebrows. Venus de Milo lacks arms. Chickens have no lips. Why ask why? Try Bud Dry. It's cold filtered for smooth draft taste and dry brewed for no aftertaste. So when it comes to refreshment, nothing's missing.
Which clamp is faster?
An old-fashioned screw-type clamp.
Or the revolutionary quick grip bar clamp?
Let's watch closely.
Here they go!
And it's over! Amazing!
Oh.
Now for the instant replay.
Hey, look at that! One finger on the quick-release trigger and the bar slides right into position.
And there, he's tightening the clamp by merely squeezing the quick grip handle. And it's done! You know, unlocking the clamp again was a very nice touch.
The quick grip bar clamp, available wherever quality tools are sold.
Ann had always loved grape nut cereal. I tried it once or twice.
I said you gotta try it with breakfast for at least a week. Get to know it. That good nutty taste. And, well, it's packed with complex carbohydrates. It's a natural energy source. It'll help keep you going.
So I did it. And I do feel great. Now I love it more than she does.
No way.
Breakfast with Post Grape Nuts helps keep you going strong all morning long.
You gotta try it for a week yourself.
Tell you, when you come to Southern California, I guess you're just supposed to act that way. Is that right? Did you act that way?
I think they're full, though. They were expecting about 65 or 70, and it's probably, 50.
Well, Colorado State out in front 14-10 with 7:32 left here in the first half. The Rams have the football. And as Mike Jimenez back in his quarterback, Tony Alford loses the handle a couple of times, recovers the ball in midair, runs for about 8 yard lines, and is finally stopped by Darrell Smith and Eric Castle.
You wonder what he would have done had he not bobbled the ball. Guard pulls around. John Larita does it. Alford just, he cannot hold on to the football, gets control of it, and then upfield and makes a nice 8-yard gain. If he'd have had control from the very beginning of that play, he'd have seen the hole and been up in the secondary a little bit quicker.
Second down and 3 now from the 27-yard line. The Rams on the move. That is Mark Holmes in motion to the top. The give is to Todd Gert, and he is out across the 32-yard line. A first down for Colorado State. And we are not far away from the Magic Kingdom, where I will be tomorrow morning, Disneyland.
Oh, yeah. Hey, I'm being lobbied strongly at my house. I think we're out here in the springtime to Disneyland. My family wants to come, and we're going to bring them out.
Oh, I'll tell you, when Walt Disney came up with the phrase, the Magic Kingdom, he was right on it.
About the equivalent of what McDonald's means to kids and hamburgers.
Absolutely. 6:31 to play, first half. Jimenez rolls right, trying to get around the coverage, and out of bounds he goes, out near the 38. And bodies are flying everywhere on that far sideline. He'll be short of the first down.
Coaches were saying that Mike Jimenez is not as talented a quarterback as Verdugo, but what he does is a lot of things better in terms of running this offense, the option, and so they put him in there. And have a clip going against Colorado State. That's their first penalty against them.
Clipping, during the run, repeat first down.
He wanted to throw the ball to Paul Macronato there right in front of him, but he was covered. Good job, Joe Farwell, once again reading, realizing it's coming there. And right here, coming back from the clip from the outside the wide receiver, you just got to get that hit. That's one of those just borderline calls. I mean, you know, Branch had his helmet almost to the inside, and it was just, you got to lay off if there's any question.
Jimenez eludes one man, eludes another, gets the pass away, and it is caught out near the 24. James Batista covered Doug Lindner, the tight end, very, very well.
Marcus Woods, the nose tackle, almost in there, forcing Jimenez to throw the ball. Nice job of just seeing somebody and getting positive yards out of the play. Bautista and Farwell, just smart players, and when you're not as big as other teams in the Pac-10 and as talented maybe as others, you've got to be smart and work hard and be prepared to play.
Second down and 18. Jimenez. The give is right up the gut. It is Tony Alford. He tries the left side, tried to take it in behind Scott Dewar, the left tackle. And Marcus Wood, the nose tackle, cut his legs out from under him. Marcus Wood, he's a junior out of Corvallis, Oregon. I don't think, at least throughout the year, I didn't see anybody block Marcus Wood one-on-one. There wasn't a center in the Pac-10 who could handle him.
Quick feet, determined. You know, when a nose tackle has 8 quarterback sacks out of a 3-4,
yeah, that tells you something.
You know, because usually you've got a center and a guard that's blocking down on you. And he fought through a lot of folks.
Third down now and 17. Branch in motion. Jimenez, here comes the blitz. Pressure from behind, he doesn't see it coming, unloads the football, and it is incomplete as a flag goes down. And who's it going to go against? Branch? Brian Copeland was down there, as was Darrell Smith. It could be offensive or defensive.
Offensive.
It's going to go against Brian Copeland.
Jimenez down there trying to argue his case. Earl Bruce shaking his head. It looked as if he was going to the ball and just turned around and happened to bump in to Darrell Smith.
Offensive pass interference. Loss of down. 4th down.
Bottom of the screen coming up for you. We'll see if we can see what happened here. As he lets go of the ball, Jimenez throws it downfield. It looks as if he turns around and just bumps into Darrell Smith. He was right there. I don't think that Copeland realized Smith was right there. Just it was one of those happened to bump into him.
Tim Luke sets to punt it away. His 3rd of the evening. It's a good one. It backs Brian Brown up. He fumbled his last time. He's got this one. Tries to get to the outside. Gets around a couple of guys and is into Rams territory, and down goes the down marker on the far side. Well, the Ducks will have great field position, a 43-yard punt. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station. This is the Raycom Sports Network.
Keep warm with the great deals at Sunnyvale Chrysler Nissan.
Chrysler will cheer you up with rebates of up to $2,000.
Take advantage of special deals on every new Voyager in stock. Plus, with dealer incentives, it's never been easier to buy a new Nissan.
Choose from our great selection of brand new pickups, Pathfinders, Maximas, 300ZXs, and the all-new Sentras.
So don't you get caught in the cold. Where the action's at, Sunnyvale Chrysler Nissan.
Nothing beats the USA. Nothing beats what we've got here. Nothing beats clean, crisp, cold. Nothing beats the king of beer. Yeah, nothing beats the bad, yeah, nothing. Nothing beats the bad, yeah, nothing. Nothing beats the Budweiser. Nothing beats the Bud.
Just a little reminder that easy-to-park, user-friendly Hondas are on sale now at end-of-the-year low prices. So whatever you're driving,
Did you find a spot, Mom? Right out front.
maybe you should think of pulling in for a test drive.
With 4:38 to play in the first half, let's take a look at their storyline. Brought to you by Mylanta. For Colorado State, 75 yards for a touchdown on their first drive. They've alternated their quarterbacks, Craig, and their tailbacks, and look what they're allowing per play to the Oregon Ducks.
A couple of big passes that they've hit to Michael McClellan, and that's made the difference. You look on Oregon's side, 79 yards on their first drive for a touchdown, but the difference in the ball game, the fumbled punt that led to a Colorado State touchdown, and therefore the lead in the ball game, 14-10.
4:38 to play. The Ducks have the ball, and the way this game has gone, it has been a game of very, very long possessions. I get the feeling that Oregon might control it all the way to intermission. There's the one running back set for the Oregon Ducks in motion. It is Sean Burwell. McClellan on a backwards pass, actually a lateral out to the 43-yard line, a gain of 2. That's the pass, Craig, that if it's dropped, that is a live football.
And you've got to be so aware of it. Players have to realize that as it's thrown out there. And good job of Eric Tipiconic and Chirico of getting out, stopping it. Once again, smart football players. Earl Bruce, a big reason for that. He's brought a lot of confidence and big things to this university.
Second down and 8 now from the 43. McClellan in motion, one-on-one coverage. Here is the flea flicker. Musgrave pressured, throws downfield. McClellan, it is knocked away. Oh, what coverage by Selwyn Jones.
Woo, Bill's laughing there saying, we almost had you, fellas. Sylvester Mabry, number 8, does a heck of a job. Andy Byrne, number 10 right there. You'll see him come up a little bit. Hamilton comes up. And then Musgrave is looking. He goes to his number 2 guy there. He wanted to go deep, but Mabry was back there. And then Selwyn Jones comes over and just does a heck of a job of knocking that out of bounds. And, of course, Selwyn Jones had 6 interceptions this season to lead this team that set a school record with 25.
Now on 3rd down and 8. It is McClellan in motion. He heads up to join right 6. That is Burwell, grabbed once behind the line by Eric Challer and finally stopped by Paul Hanks and Robert Chirico. He gets just about back to the line of scrimmage, Craig, and now with 3:48 to play in the first half. Now we've got an offside call against Colorado State, so it'll still be shy of a first down.
Eric Schaller coming back. We saw him injured earlier on, probably was a shoulder. Showed me there he's a good player. I mean, he's an all-conference guy.
Offside, defense, repeat 3rd down.
But what he did there was he got up the field and then got horizontally. I mean, it's one thing to get vertical penetration, but to be a good defensive lineman, once you get in the backfield, you've got to be able to break down and get sideways because that's the way this game is played. That's where runners are going.
Oregon has not been a tight end-oriented offense all year. This would be a great spot to find Vince Ferry on 3rd down and 3. Musgrave. Looking for Ferry. He's got it. A first down at the 31-yard line.
Little dirt on the old helmet there, but they wanted to throw underneath. They talked about it. They've got the blitz coming up underneath in the inside linebackers. They throw out there. You've got a tight end being covered by the strong safety, who Oregon felt was a weak cover man. And they took advantage of it there. Once again, they're not with their star tight end, Jeff Thompson. But Vince Ferry does a heck of a job of just controlling the ball and keeping his eyes on it.
That is a key first down. It comes with 3:04 to play in the second period. Now out of the I formation. First man through was Juan Shedrick. He gets to the line of scrimmage and no more. Clock continues to run. 2:50, 2:49.
That's almost one of those plays that you're just trying to keep the defense honest. You open up, and if it gets you 3 yards, you're happy and pleased with it out of the I formation, but you just want to keep people from, and particularly those linebackers from keying on the outside for your tailbacks.
Now Oregon, normally a team that rushes for about 150, 52 yards a game. Only 15 yards in the first half. That is unbelievable. There's the short drop. It is caught. Reitzig has got it. He spins and is finally down at the 8-yard line. A 22-yard gain for the Ducks. It's a first down, and the clock stops with 2:10 remaining in the first half.
Three-step drop, but the play is made at the initial snap because Reitzig beat the corner off the line of scrimmage. He wasn't able to. Number 30 wasn't able to bump and hold him up. And he just a super job of getting the ball to him before. Obviously, the leader, he's a quiet guy. Bill Musgrave going over, he's going to say, hey, Joe, I got you the ball. Let's keep it going. Let's get in the end zone.
Reitzig now comes wide to the right. He has picked up one-on-one coverage by Selwyn Jones. In the slot, it is McClellan. On first and goal from the 8. Burwell, nothing doing. Great pursuit by Otis Hamilton. Hamilton last year a backup at the inside linebacker spot, pretty much a special teamer in 1989, but he has certainly made the most of his opportunity this year.
Left guard pulls, comes around. They're going to try to kick out with a counter play and get up inside, but Hamilton reads it, gets inside their blocks, and disrupts the play and allows everybody else, his teammates, to get in there and stop him, and he's going to get up and tell folks, hey, I'm pretty excited about that.
Reitzig wide to the left. This time it is the tailback, Sean Burwell, in the slot. Now Burwell comes to the near side. Musgrave wants to go that way. Burwell has got it at the 3-yard line and is spun down at the 4. Eric Tippecanoe grabbed him by the jersey. He did a beautiful pirouette and was stopped at the 4.
Watch what you got here. You've got Burwell a little bit to your left side. He's got coverage from Tippecanoe, the linebacker, and beats him inside. They have tried to intentionally put him one-on-one with that linebacker for an option. Golden rule for the linebacker: never allow that back to beat you inside. He allowed it to happen. If he beats you inside, you have no help, and he's lucky to have got his hand on him to prevent the touchdown.
Craig is a former running back. Did you like to run the stuff over the middle coming out of the backfield?
Oh, boy, anytime you could beat somebody and get inside, you knew you had a big play coming up. If you could beat that linebacker, the next guy to get you was going to be the offside backside cornerback.
Well, there are 28 ticks remaining here in the first half. We're going to step away. The Rams of Colorado State up by 4, but the Ducks are threatening.
It happens while you sleep.
A kiss? Not yet, honey.
Millions of bacteria form in your mouth.
A kiss? No.
So you wake up with the worst breath of the day, morning breath.
Oh, honey.
Fight morning breath with Scope. Antiseptic Scope has 2 powerful ingredients that kill 90% of the bacteria that cause morning breath.
How about that kiss?
Where's my kiss?
Kiss me, you big lug.
Scope, original mint or peppermint. The best thing, first thing in the morning.
5 years ago, Ford passed Chevy in light truck sales, and we've never looked back.
Ford trucks, the best, never rest.
We just kept working to make our trucks better. We added new engines, new transmissions, new interiors, even new trucks. And our sales lead got even wider. In fact, our lead over Chevy is twice as wide as it was last year. Ford trucks, putting the competition farther behind us every day. More people are driving the best-built, best-selling American truck than ever before.
Introducing the most advanced Tegrin ever.
New advanced formula Tegrin Dandruff Shampoo. Clinically shown to control the leading causes of itching and flaking. New richer, thicker, advanced formula Tegrin.
Aren't you just itching to try it?
How fast does Dristan nasal spray start working to clear up congestion?
Hey, I didn't expect it to start to work as fast.
Dristan nasal spray starts to work in seconds.
28 seconds left here in the first half. Colorado State trying to hold on to that precarious 4-point lead, and the Ducks have the football at the Ram 3-yard line.
Here's what comes into play now. You've only averaged 1.4 yards per carry. You've not been successful with the run. The field has shrunk, so it doesn't help you at all when it comes to throwing the football. Going to have a timeout. Colorado State must have seen something that they didn't like, maybe a new formation coming out from Oregon.
Now, fans, don't forget to catch all the great college basketball action this season on the Raycom Sports Network. Raycom brings you exciting regional coverage all year long of the ACC, the Big 8, the Big 10, the Metro, the Southwest, and the Pac-10 conferences. We invite you to check your local listings for the games and times in your area. Raycom is the nation's leader in college basketball coverage.
One thing about a bowl game is that you know that there's going to be something new created by each team. And those coaches have nightmares 2 days before a ball game wondering, you could tell Denny Shuler, everybody wants to fish the announcers. They're trying to say, hey, have they told you anything they might do? And I laugh because it's really funny to see some of these coaches that grow gray hairs.
Now you're looking at a man who has taken a team into postseason action 12 times in his career, this being his 13th. Just look at that, the Tangerine, the Peach, the Hall of Fame, a couple of Rose Bowls, a couple of Fiesta Bowls, the Liberty, the Holiday, the Citrus, the Cotton, and now the Freedom Bowl. And he has done it with 4 separate teams. It started way back with Tampa, Iowa State, Ohio State, and now Colorado State. Look at this, wide open, touchdown, Sean Burwell. How in the world did Burwell get so wide open?
Has to come from a mistake with a linebacker from the inside. Should have gotten out into the flat with him, and it probably is going to have a little pick, a natural pick coming from one of the receivers to the inside to create problems for the linebacker. There you see Reitzig and McClellan going to the inside. They probably kept that linebacker Hamilton or Tippeconic from getting out there and covering him in the flat. And those are tough. Those are the toughest catches in the world because you know your guys missed you, you're wide open, and here comes the ball.
Here is McCallum. He has been perfect this year. Now 36 of 36. And with 23 seconds remaining here in the first half, it is now Oregon out in front, 17-14.
See if we can see the right side. If we'll find now how those linebackers are picked off. Tippeconic at the bottom left of your screen should have been out there. He wasn't, though, and Burwell is free and clear. Burwell, they told us, he had good hands. He showed their good concentration. They just an excellent job of setting the play up, and obviously Colorado State was not ready for that type of play.
Oregon on the scoreboard. And they take a lead. It took them 4 minutes and 15 seconds to go 45 yards. Musgrave to Burwell, a 3-yard touchdown pass. I don't think it's any surprise that we're seeing the Ducks try and get their tailback outside. They want to get into the perimeter because they know when you look at Colorado State's defense, Greg, their leading tacklers are the inside linebackers, Eric Tippeconic and Otis Hamilton. I mean, anybody who follows football at all will tell you when you've got your 2 inside guys leading the team in tackles, you got to get away from them.
Out of a 3-4 defense, too. I mean, usually you might see a middle linebacker in a 4-3 that gets pretty physical and aggressive, but those 3-4 linebackers, they're smart, though. They are smart, and they read well and play hard.
Liam Hayes, he puts his foot in it. It's a good one. Tony Branch at the 5. Oh, is he smacked at the 22-yard line. He goes down in a hurry. Eric Dozier out of Carson, California, Banning High School.
That's one of those guys, they always tell you to empty your bucket. At least some of my coaches used to. He comes down. He can't wait to get on the kickoff. And he comes in, sees the guy. Branch doesn't realize he's coming from there. He thinks he's fixing to find some open green pasture. And, you know, he had a few sugar cubes fed to him right there.
Well, the Rams, with 19 seconds to go, Mike Jimenez is at quarterback. Up the middle it goes. That is Todd Yurt. Spins and is down out near the 40. Boy, Yurt, 6'1", 223 pounds.
Jimenez runs in, calls timeout. Todd Yurt, just an outstanding player. Not only when he gets inside the 10-yard line to score touchdowns, but look at the blocking. Look at that trap blocking. Gets up in there. Larita and them stay on their blocks. He gets up. Free safety. Castle has to make the stop. And we talked about no big plays. That's a 17-yarder right there. That's a pretty good-sized play. And you know that Oregon was expecting the run because Colorado State, they'll run the football whether they're ahead by 30 or down by 30.
Now there is Earl Bruce. Only 3 active coaches, as I mentioned a moment ago, have guided 4 different teams into postseason play. The other 2, Lou Holtz of Notre Dame and Bill Mallory of Indiana.
Tampa, Iowa State, Ohio State, and now here at Colorado State.
Now there it is right there. And all 3 of those guys right there were assistants at Ohio State under the legend, Woody Hayes. You know, you sit back and you wonder, how in the world can the Buckeyes fire Earl Bruce when he had won over 75% of his games? I still don't understand that.
It's amazing. Some coaches, I look at Fred Akers from Texas when they fired him. He'd won 70-something% of his games there with the Longhorns. I remember how they gave a hard time to the guy at Hatfield at Arkansas. You know, he was a boring offense. You know, well, heck, I'd love to have a 10-1 boring offensive team.
Rams first down. Jimenez trying to get out of pressure. 6 seconds. 5 seconds. He's got to get out of bounds, and he does so at the 41-yard line. And with 3 seconds remaining, the Rams will certainly get a Hail Mary off. A run of 19 yards for Jimenez.
It'd be a 58, 59-yard field goal attempt, and I just didn't see. They weren't hitting those kind of kicks yesterday in practice. So you line them up wide and you go deep. Try to throw the Hail Mary like you said and see if you can't make a big play.
You know, that man right there, Mike Jimenez, is the nephew of a pretty fair quarterback in his time. A fellow who got it done for Don Coryell at San Diego State, Craig Penrose. Now Colorado State, after a 5-5-1 record in his first year at Colorado State. Look what Earl Bruce did in 1990. 6-0 at home.
That 5-5-1 record was the second best turnaround in that season in the NCAA, and that was with the 3rd toughest schedule. It earned Bruce the WAC Coach of the Year.
8-4 this year overall. Their most wins in 13 years. Well, I'd say that undefeated record at home is really something.
It shows character. You've got to defend your turf. You've got to have that mentality that, hey, look, you're coming into my backyard. You're not going to take anything from me.
Oregon, when you look at what they accomplished this year, 8-3, 4-3 in Pac-10 action. I'll tell you, they won every game at Autzen Stadium for the first time in the 24-year history of that stadium.
How about Bill Musgrave being 19-1 at home?
Yeah.
25-9 in games that he's started and completed. Pretty impressive.
And his last touchdown pass at Autzen Stadium beat UCLA. But right now, it is Jimenez. Final play of the first half. Sending everybody deep. He's going long, and it is incomplete. First into the hands of Tony Alford. Then Devon Hosey almost came down with it. And the ball falls to the turf. Time has expired here at Anaheim in the first half of the 1990 Freedom Bowl. We're coming back to Anaheim in a moment. The 1990 Freedom Bowl is being brought to you by Ford and by Mylanta.
It's regarded among the top 10 schools in the world for molecular biology. Ranks in the top 2 in America for graduate art education. Number 3 in interior architecture. 6th in special education. and among the very best in the country for journalism, business, and music. How's that for initial impressions?
This is not what you want in a shave. Now you've got the edge. This is the shave with 6 rich lubricants. This is the shave that reduces irritation. This is the shave. For less irritation, you've got the edge.
Always exciting, always something new. Always an adventure, always something to do.
Always entertaining.
Always something to see.
Always on the money. Las Vegas, always on the money.
There is big-time controversy brewing in Bud Bowl 3. Bud Light's top draft choice, Bud Dry, announced he may give up football and play baseball instead. While it would be the BFL's loss, it would certainly be baseball's gain. Major League Manager Tommy Lasorda had this to say.
You don't see athletes like this every day.
Will it be footballs or fastballs for Bud Dry? For Bud Bowl Update, I'm Chris Burke.
For over 25 years, the National Association of Collegiate Directors of Athletics has brought the team concept to athletic administration. Over 3,000 dedicated professionals helping each other to balance budgets, raise funds, manage current issues, and more. Plus, the NACTA Foundation provides drug education, as well as scholarship grants and internships for student athletes. Academic responsibility, athletic excellence. That's the National Association of Collegiate Directors of Athletics.
In a small equilibrium concentration.
Colorado State has achieved a reputation for academic excellence. The marquee is packed with nationally renowned researchers and professors. But it's our hospitality that gets top billing.
People here are so friendly. Fort Collins is really a warm little town.
Probably the community. It's a real friendly community here.
The people. I think the people. And the friendly people. They're very laid back. It's got it all here.
Colorado State. Since 1870, Colorado's natural resource.
Now the Rams of Colorado State drew first blood on their first possession. They went 75 yards, put a touchdown on the board. The Ducks came back and did likewise. And at halftime, it's Oregon out in front of Earl Bruce's Rams of Colorado State by a score of 17-14. And I think the thing that I am most amazed is that the Ducks of Oregon are simply unable to run the football.
And they've been such a good, effective, balanced team throughout the year. Sean Burwell has done a great job in receiving the ball, but in terms of running the football, he's been shut down, nowhere to go, and good job by Colorado State's defensive line. Those front 3 and the 2 linebackers, good job recognizing, seeing things, getting vertical, getting horizontal, doing a nice job of going to the football.
And the one thing that you have to say certainly about Colorado State is they have not panicked. They have not been to a bowl since 1948. They are taking this game in stride, just as if it is any other game on their schedule. Perhaps, I think, a tribute to that head coach, Earl Bruce.
Earl Bruce has been there 11 times. You knew that he'd have something ready for them. He's met Rich Brooks, the Oregon coach, twice. He's beat him both times while he was at Ohio State, so you know that he's instilled confidence. He's told them what to expect. There's going to be the media. You're going to have to answer questions. You're going to have all the hoopla, the fans at the hotel, and I think that has really helped the Colorado State Ball Club.
Of course, when you look at Colorado State, they began the game with Kevin Verdugo at quarterback, and as they got down into the red zone, or that area where you start to put the ball into the end zone, they made a surprise change, and in came Mike Jimenez. Throughout the first 30 minutes of play, it was kind of back and forth. Jimenez, then Verdugo. As a former running back, what does that do to your offensive backfield?
Well, I think the mindset of a ball player on this team has to be, hey, I don't care who's at quarterback. They're going to call a play. I've got to execute it. I know it's going on 1 or 2, the snap count, get off the ball and go do it. They're going to hand it to me or throw it to me. And, you know, you think back to that opening series, they had to convert 2 third-down plays and then a 4th down when Jimenez gets it in the end zone with a quarterback sneak. And so there was a lot of good things Verdugo did on that first series, as well as Jimenez.
I don't think there's any question Colorado State is in this ball game at halftime, due in part at least to the fact that Brian Brown fumbled a punt return. That's something I haven't seen Brian Brown do all year long.
Well, and we talked about Colorado State turning the football over and creating turnovers. They were plus 14 in takeaways throughout the year. One of the best in the country, the best in the WAC, and they did that again. It gave them the touchdown. It's kept them in the ball game. I look for another turnover or two from Colorado State before this game's over.
How good are you at sports trivia, Greg?
Well, if there's a Norwegian cruise on the line, I'm good at it.
Well, we're going to test your knowledge right now. As we told you in the first half, we are going to test your sports trivia knowledge. And if you can get this one right, you may be on your way to a Norwegian cruise aboard Norwegian Cruise Lines. And here is the question tonight. Who is the only Heisman Trophy winner ever to play in the Freedom Bowl? Take a look. Who is he? There has only been one. Write your answer on a postcard and mail it to Raycom. Freedom Bowl Trivia, Post Office Box 33367, Charlotte, North Carolina. There's the mailing address. A winner will be drawn at random from all correct entries received by January 11th and will be awarded an exciting cruise for two on Norwegian Cruise Line, the Athletes Fleet. A reminder, you have to be at least 18 years of age to be eligible to win this cruise. The Norwegian Cruise Line Trivia Contest will be a regular halftime feature on upcoming Raycom basketball telecasts beginning in January, so check your local listings for Raycom games in your area. Well, don't go away. It is halftime here at the 1990 Freedom Bowl. Colorado State trailing the Ducks 17-14. We'll be back after these messages from your local station. This is the Raycom Sports Network.
Not long ago, some visitors to a remote Alaskan island happened on something most unusual, a most unusual beer.
Well, what do you have there?
Henry.
Well, for 2 pounds of beef, we might accept 3 Silver Fox, 20 rabbit skins,
and 10 cases of Henry's.
How did Henry Weinhardt's private reserve happen to be there?
2 rabbit skins and 5 cases?
Who knows?
Could be right.
But if it's worth a trip to Alaska,
We'll admit, mighty fine beer.
it's sure worth a trip to the store.
I'm here to pick up my car, Simpson.
Coffee or tea?
No thanks, just the car.
Okay.
Just a little reminder that reliable, trouble-free Hondas are on sale right now. At end of the year, low prices. So whatever you're riding around in these days, maybe you should think of stopping in for a test drive.
We welcome you back to beautiful Anaheim Stadium in Anaheim, California for this 7th annual Freedom Bowl. And joining me now is a man who is executive director of the Freedom Bowl. He came on board in March of 1990. His name is Don Anderson. And Don, boy, what a whale of a job you have done in less than a year on board. You have taken a bowl game that I don't think is any secret was in trouble here in 1989, and you have really got it on track.
Well, thank you, Phil. We're having a great time with it. We've got great support groups with our board of directors, and you know Jack Lindquist from Disneyland, who you've spoken to. We have a tremendous group of staff people. And what we've done this year is gone out to bring in teams that were really excited about playing in a bowl game. We didn't consider necessarily big markets. We didn't consider necessarily big-name teams. But we brought teams in that wanted to be in the Freedom Bowl, that this game was a step up in their program, and to get a team like Oregon that's now sold 18,000 tickets to be here tonight, and Colorado State that hadn't been to a bowl game in 42 years, that's what the bowl game is all about. We're going to have 30,000 visitors from out of state in Anaheim, in Orange County, at Disneyland, in our hotels and restaurants, and that's going to mean somewhere between $30 and $50 million to this economy in a 5 or 6 day period.
Don, at a time when many bowl games are going to a major sponsor, a title sponsor, is it perhaps on track to say that the Freedom Bowl may perhaps in 1991 look for a major title sponsor?
We're looking in 1990. It just hadn't happened yet. Sure it is, Phil, and that's important to us in our growth. And at this stage, we are looking for a title sponsor. We've made presentations in the last 6 months, probably to maybe 100, 150 different major corporations. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if shortly after the first of the year, we come up with a winner.
What's in store in 1991, Don, in the 8th edition of the Freedom Bowl?
Well, our whole association, the Orange County Sports Association, besides the Freedom Bowl, puts on the Disneyland Pigskin Classic, of course, that Raycom carried in August when Tennessee played Colorado to that great 31-all tie. We're going to have another game this coming August on the 29th, and we haven't selected the teams yet, but that'll be a major project for us in the coming year. We put on a couple of charity golf tournaments. We do a college basketball tournament with UC Irvine. We're going to do a major college baseball tournament with Cal State Fullerton and Chapman College and Irvine here in Orange County. We are looking to be the body that brings NC2A basketball into Orange County, the Davis Cup tennis into this market. We're working with the World Cup soccer people. They've just broken ground for a new 20,000-seat sports arena across the street here from Anaheim Stadium, and we hope to help fill that place up.
An old friend dating way back to the days in the World Football League. It's good to see you again, Don. You're doing a great job. Continued great luck.
Thank you, Phil. Nice to be with you.
Don Anderson, the executive director of the Freedom Bowl here in Anaheim. And as we step away, we invite you to watch the Oregon Ducks marching band. Halftime continues. Score, Ducks of Oregon 17, the Colorado State Rams 14.
If you're like a lot of people, you're probably trying to cut back on caffeine. You certainly don't want to find it in unexpected places. So you might be surprised to learn that your pain reliever may contain caffeine. Check the label. There is no caffeine in Tylenol. With Tylenol, all you get is fast, effective relief without caffeine. And you should know that hospitals use Tylenol nearly 5 times more than all other pain relievers combined. Tylenol, the pain reliever hospitals use most.
Larry Zonka, 3 straight Super Bowls. After that, he went to sea. Sports personalities, as well as our own team of sports instructors, help host Norwegian Cruise Line cruises. No other cruise line has such an all-star lineup. The pleasure ships of Norwegian Cruise Line. The best vacation you've ever had. Plus, contact with someone like number 39, Larry Zonka.
You got an officer who's worth something lying here.
A Civil War hero leaves the battlefield for the frontier. Cut off from everything he knows. He's changed forever by the people who call him Dances with Wolves.
I will not forget you.
Kevin Costner, Dances with Wolves, rated PG-13. Now play.
One day there was just too much gray. I thought, should I or shouldn't I? I didn't. I was afraid it might look phony. I wanted natural-looking color, and I wanted to do it right, with no pouring and mixing. Nobody else could give me what I wanted until Clairol Option Instant for Men. I figured if it's from Clairol, I could trust it. I could. I went from gray to my natural-looking color in 5 easy minutes. My hair looks great, feels great. When I look in the mirror, I don't see gray. I see me.
Do it right with Option, also in gradual formula.
As we enjoy this great American tradition, college football, let's salute all the student athletes, all those men and women who are working hard toward their academic degrees. They know that the NCAA Foundation is committed to helping them graduate, to get ahead in the game of life. They know that the only way to compete off the field is to stay in school. So enjoy the competition, but get your degree.
Raycom Sports, your source for great sports action. Coast to coast, the best games are on Raycom. Halftime, the Ducks out in front of the Rams, 17-14. Oregon coming into this ball game anywhere from a 6.5 to an 8-point favorite. But I'll tell you what, I think the Rams are going to make it a lot closer than that before this one's over.
Well, they made sure of that when the opening drive, when they go down the field and they score there. I mean, it's something that Earl Bruce did. 4th down, he goes in and he puts Jimenez in instead of Verdugo, which really set the tone for this ball game. He said, "I'm coming after you, Oregon. I realize I'm the underdog, but I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to give it all I have tonight."
Greg, let's take a look at those first half highlights brought to you by UPS. It began, as you mentioned, their first drive of the night on 4th down and less than 1. Mike Jimenez.
Nice job of getting in there, leg strength, realizes where he's going from, and Jimenez obviously stayed alert and awake on the sidelines.
And then the Oregon Ducks came right back on their first possession. Watch Bill Musgrave.
Musgrave finds Anthony Jones coming across the middle there. It's Jones's first touchdown of the year, and what a time to go out and score.
A field goal then gave Oregon a 10-7 lead, and then just watch the Rams punting the football away. Brian Brown, he had 1 touchdown on a punt return this year. Sure-handed, loses the ball, and the Rams recovered. And a short time later, 5 plays to be exact, Colorado State's Tony Alford got the call.
Everybody's expecting the ball to go to Todd Urirt. They cover up him. He goes in, gives the ball to Alford. He scores a touchdown, and Colorado State continues to stay in the football game.
Yeah, they led 14-10 at that point, but Musgrave wasn't done yet. Tail end of the first half, Musgrave to Sean Burwell. He was wide open.
It looked like they confused the defense of Colorado State. They weren't expecting that play there. Burwell does a nice job. Good picks coming from his inside receivers, and they score the touchdown.
Let's take a look now at our first half stats brought to you by Lincoln. First downs, you can't get any closer than that.
And then you look at the rushing yards. Colorado State continuing to go towards their average, 219 a game. Oregon, nothing there. And then on the passing, Musgrave with 163. The time of possession, the turnover. The 1 turnover by Oregon really is the reason they're not further ahead in this game.
I'll tell you what, those statistics certainly indicative of the 3-point game that we have. Of course, in the second half, Colorado State has got to find a way to stop Bill Musgrave. He's tearing him up through the air.
Not much pressure on the quarterback.
That's
that was
right.
One of their musts. They needed to get in there and put pressure on him. He's set back in the pocket. He's done a nice job of spreading that defense out. That's what he said he wanted to do. I want to go out, spread the defense, get the ball in the hands of Sean Burwell. He's done that. Michael McClellan's done an outstanding job coming back. 4 catches, 61 yards. Those are things that Oregon needed to do, and they've done it. They said if they spread the defense out that they'd come back and pound the football, run it a lot. Now we'll see if they'll do that.
Look for Colorado State's linebacker corps to be a whole lot more active in the final 30 minutes of play. Right now, let's go down on the field. A very special halftime presentation featuring over 1,000 musicians and dancers from all over the country. This portion of our halftime festivities is being jointly produced by National Events and Encore International. Let's watch. Simpson, the Ducks are back out on the playing field. The second half just moments away. We'll be right back after these words from your local station. This is the Raycom Sports Network.
Grand Caravan rebates are back at your Dodge dealer. Right now,
here's the latest Caravan Advantage. Now you can get $1,000 cash back on all 90 Caravans.
On almost all of them, like a big $1,300 back on Shadow, $1,000 on Spirit, $1,500 back on Dakota, and $2,000 on full-size pickups. And special factory-to-dealer incentives might save you even more. So hurry, see your Northern California Dodge dealer today.
Where do you go when your neighbor drops by for a little snack? What high-octane premium gasoline delivers winning performance? Who's always there to help keep the show on the road?
Tonight's Freedom Bowl is being brought to you by Option Instant. By UPS, now offering 10:30 a.m. guaranteed overnight air delivery. And by Lincoln Mercury. There is our halftime score. The Ducks of Oregon on top of the Colorado State Rams, 17-14. Well, as we chronicled at the top of our telecast, we told you what we thought Colorado State and Oregon would have to do to win the ball game. Let's take a look again now at those forward musts, Greg. You were right on. You said Colorado State had to run the ball.
And they have. They've run the ball well, pressure the quarterback. They really haven't done that at all tonight. That's why Musgrave has been able to sit in the pocket and do some good things with the ball. Continue to create turnovers. Well, let's flip this thing and we'll come out and we'll see how they've done. They've had 116 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns, so they've been successful there. No quarterback sacks and only 4 hurries. That's not going to cut it if they want to win this game. They have forced 1 turnover, and that did lead to some points for them. On the other side of the field, Oregon, they had to stop the run, and they really haven't done that. Limit the big plays and no turnovers. As we go on to see how they have fared in that category, you can see that they really have not stopped the run that well tonight. I mean, Colorado State has had 116 rushing yards. They have been effective, though. They've only allowed 1 play over 20 yards. That is a positive. But they did have the turnover that obviously led to the touchdown for Colorado State.
Now you are looking down from the airship Columbia. The Goodyear blimp is in attendance tonight. It's piloted by Joel Chamberlain. And I wonder if Captain Chamberlain filed a flight plan that read something like circle Anaheim Stadium at 1,500 feet some 200 times.
Wow, what a gorgeous shot of the moon. Oh, is that beautiful.
I didn't know the blimp could get that close to it.
That's really neat.
Whoa,
looks like a big old metropolitan city sitting up there on the moon. Think they're watching our ball game?
The crater, I think it was Copernicus and Tycho, if I remember my astronomy from my days at Ohio University.
Well, maybe you do. I know I don't.
Well, a beautiful night here in Southern California. We had expected inclement weather tonight, as we had heard virtually all yesterday, last night, and this morning, that a storm from the great northwest, high winds, extremely cold temperatures, and maybe a threat of cold rain tonight. But I'll tell you, other than a rather cool evening, the moon is out, the blimp is up, we've got a 17-14 game. What else could you ask for?
If you're old Bruce, you could ask for about 3 more points to at least tie this thing up, but it's a super ball game. I think he has to be pleased with the first half. He's going to want to put some more pressure on Musgrave, and if you're on the other side of the ball, Oregon, they're going to come out and they're going to try to somehow slow down that running game, because one thing that has kept Colorado State in this game for sure is that they've held on to the football by running it and somewhat keeping it away from Bill Musgrave. Mike Jimenez, I'm wondering if he'll start out here in the second half.
That's a good question. When you look at the 2 quarterbacks